Thankfully, there were no injuries or any property damage in American Samoa after a massive earthquake near New Zealand resulted in a tsunami warning for the U.S. territory. Two of our Eagle News correspondents, Arianne Torres and Fhelcie Oghayon, saw firsthand all the commotion earlier today and helped Alfred Acenas from our Hawaii Bureau with this report.
At about 9:45 a.m. Thursday Hawaii time, which would be 3:45 a.m. Friday Philippine time, the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center issued a tsunami watch for the Hawaiian Islands, while a tsunami warning was issued for American Samoa and parts of the South Pacific, all of which as a result of a massive 8.1 earthquake that struck off of New Zealand's North Island. And just for a clear definition of the terms, under a tsunami watch, officials and scientists continue to evaluate the potential threat given the possibility. And under a tsunami warning, the forecast is more definitive, better projected, which would prompt authorities to issue evacuation along the coastal areas. And that was the case for American Samoa, who estimated that the waves would have reached their coastline at about 10:19 a.m. local, which would have been 5:19 a.m. Philippine time. Now, our very own Arianne Torres was at the capital city of Pango, which is also a low-lying area sitting right next to the harbor, making this a hazard for flooding. She was able to share with Eagle News her first-hand encounters with the evacuation of mostly children, which took place earlier.
Hindi sila bowa, tsaka sila mag-traffic.
Kuya, saglit lang. Natagpuan ko na yung mga anak ko. Bumaba ako ng kotse. Susundan ko kasi sila. Kuya, hindi na ako makapagkuha. Nasa roadside na ako. Nagta-traffic at saka nag-aasikaso ng mga bata.
I'm taking pictures.
Yes, really.
Now, thankfully, the tsunami that was forecasted for American Samoa did not take place. And keeping in mind that today was still a school day down in the South Pacific territory. And because they are still free of COVID-19, most, if not all, the children there had in-person schooling. So Arianne and others volunteered to help out, relocate hundreds of school children to designated evacuation shelters. They were, according to her, they received free food and drink as they awaited further instructions. Now, at around 11 a.m. American Samoa time or 6 a.m. Philippine time, the warning issued to American Samoa was downgraded into an advisory. And at about 12:30 noontime here in Hawaii, the tsunami watch was canceled altogether. So bottom line, this is another series of close calls as a result of earthquakes that happen around this part of the world called the Pacific Ring of Fire. But for those who lived here, like yours truly, it's still fresh in the minds of many residents, especially for this month is the 10th anniversary of the massive 9.1 megaquake that struck eastern Japan and that triggered a tsunami clear across the Pacific, affecting us here in the islands, causing some significant property damage. And further back in 2009, American Samoa lost more than 30 lives as a result of a tsunami after an earthquake triggered that area. Reporting from Honolulu, Hawaii, Alfred Acenas, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to